is our EnTec Social Hour co-host. And we have a couple of our other team members in here today. We have Vanessa Rodriguez, who's our single stop and Miami Tech Works student support services coordinator. So she's definitely here to educate you guys on different services that we have for our students. And then we also have Amy Rubenson, who's our AI grant manager, and she's here to let you guys know about, different AI opportunities if you would like. And then we also have Natasha Campos, who's our Apple Swift program student success coach. Trying to memorize everyone's positions. I'm probably not saying them right at all. But anyway, we have an amazing team in here today who at the end of the session are going to be in holistic support breakout rooms. You can hop around the rooms at that point and just get to know them. We're here to you get to know who we are, know our faces, where you can find us, different resources that we have to offer you, and just have those personalized conversations. That's at the end. So just a little rundown. We're going to wait until about 12:05 just for more people to come into the room. On the screen, you'll see our Welcome to Social Hour backdrop. You can scan the QR code for different opportunities and resources that we have here at MDC. It's a great opportunity, just like one of our link tree, save the link tree, share it with, your classmates, colleagues, etc. It's just a great resource to have in general. Another thing is we do have another EnTec social hour on the 16th of April in 2 weeks, and we're going to go over prompt engineering with two of our awesome MDC professors, Professor George Gabb and Professor Rodolfo Cruz. If you haven't already registered for that social hour session, please do. I'll share the QR code sometime before we break out into holistic support rooms, so that way you can register. And maybe someone else, if you don't mind, if you can just drop it in the chat, that would be amazing. So that way people can also get it in there and register. Once you go out into your networking breakout rooms, I think it's a great opportunity to speak with your colleagues at MDC across the different campuses, because this social hour is not exclusive to a specific campus. It's district, so it's for all the campuses. So it's a unique opportunity for you to talk to people at different campuses and see what's going on at their campus. Different events and opportunities. I think that's really crucial, because sometimes we're kind of in our own little bubble and we know what's happening at our campus, but MDC is sort of like one body. So definitely take an opportunity when you're in those rooms to get to know each other. I always say share your LinkedIn profiles with one another and just network as much as you can. When we come back out from the breakout rooms at 12:15, we have Chris here with us today. He is one of our MDC AI students, as well as a business owner, and he is just really great. I was really impressed when I heard him speak. I think you guys will love today's session. He's going to be going over some use cases for some really popular and free AI tools. A lot of things that we don't really either know about, or we maybe don't know the extent or the scope of the AI tool, and how you can use it in your education as well as your work, either as a business owner or even just automating tasks that you have to do in your daily work, your daily life. All right. So thank you for listening to me speak for as long as you did. And we're going to break you out now into the networking breakout rooms. When you go into the rooms, please do talk to each other. We may or may not pop into the room just to see how the conversation's going, but definitely the two things I recommend talking about is what's going on at your campus and sharing your LinkedIn profiles with each other. All right, so we're going to pop you into the breakout rooms now, and we'll be back at 12:15 to start the presentation. Ten seconds. So once everyone is back in the room, Chris is going to start presenting the topic. Just a couple of like housekeeping. These sessions are being recorded, so if you don't want to be on the recording, that's a heads up to you now. If you do, that's awesome. I appreciate it. These recordings are going to be posted up on the MDC website at some point in the near future. We are working with learning resources to actually have a hub specifically for social hours. So I'm actually really excited about that resource for you guys in the near future. What else? I see some familiar faces. I'm really happy to see you guys in here today. I think you're really gonna enjoy the session. Hey, Carlos, I know it's been a good minute since I've seen you. So yeah, so happy to see you guys in here. Happy to see you with your cameras on. Not that you have to, it's just that it kind of tips me off like, okay, you were talking in your room, which is good because I'm always like, guys, when you go in your room, make sure you talk, make sure you talk. So yeah, there's that. And let's see. I think for the most part, everyone's in here. I think this is a pretty good turnout considering that you guys did get a million messages and emails from me over spring break. So thank you for dealing with my annoying automated campaigns because I was not sitting on that computer sending you emails during spring break, okay? I didn't even check my work email during spring break. So the fact that you're here means you guys are just very awesome and dedicated, and I appreciate you. So I will keep talking and then we'll run out of time. So I will stop now. And Chris, just take the floor. It's all yours.
Thank you so much. I want to say thank you so much to MDC for putting this events together. I definitely think that it builds a community and it helps all of the students. I really love this event. So I appreciate you guys, well, number one, hosting this event and being able to have me come and speak a little bit about artificial intelligence. It was really cool that in the breakout rooms, I was talking to a lot of the students and I saw that there's a lot of cyber students. And I love seeing that because cyber is going to play a big impact in the future, especially with all of the advancements in AI and in quantum computing. So I love having cyber students here to be able to do that. But today we're going to talk a little bit about a tool that I feel sometimes a lot of people talk about, but most people don't. And like I always say, just get their hands dirty and actually dive into the tool and use it for a lot of the stuff. And Notebook LM, and it maybe if you guys can raise your hands there, if you guys have heard it or have used it in the past, it's a very powerful tool. Adam, I see you. Nice, very cool. Nick, nice. I see you guys in there. One of the use cases and one of the ways that I've always used it in school is every time that I start a class, I build a notebook around that class. Number one is like having an assistant for that class itself. Is having like a private tutor of that class as well. It helps me tremendously. And one thing that I also want to talk about is how to use AI for school. We start seeing now that in Canvas, you have the AI checkers, right? So if you're just copying and pasting straight from ChatGPT, your professors are most likely knowing that that is happening. I will add the link to the site now. Give me 1 second for you guys. There's one way to use AI or like an LLM, and one of them would be to just ask for the question, right? Or tell you to give you the answer for a quiz. Copy and paste your quiz for your class and have it give you the answers. One of the things is that it's impacting one person there, and I feel like it's impacting you because the LLM knows the answers to those questions, right? You're the one that needs to figure out and learn from it. So if you're prompting your LLMs with just like, hey, give me the answer to this question, it's not doing a disservice to the LLM. It's not doing a disservice to OpenAI, Gemini, whatever you're using. It's doing a disservice to yourself. So one of the things that I like to do is in Notebook LM, prompt Notebook LM with more of a, hey, you're my tutor, you're my assistant. You're not going to provide me the answer straight out, but you're going to guide me to the answer. And that's something that is very powerful for students, especially in the advancements of AI. Education is going to change. Questions are going to get harder. You start seeing that at some other levels, PhD levels, you start seeing that the LLMs can answer those questions, right? So we can't fully rely on just, hey, here's my PhD exam or my thesis that I have to create for my PhD and have the LLM created because they're not there yet. But enough talking, let's get into the tool. I'm going to share my screen with you guys now. So that, give me 1 second, just so that I'm able to select the screen here. There we go. And please let me know when you guys can see my screen. Oh, you guys are seeing? Beautiful. There we go.
Yes.
So notebooklm.google.com. That is the link, and thank you so much for adding it there to the chat. This is pretty much I'm using the plus version, and please let me know if you guys are seeing the screen that I'm seeing, just to make sure that I'm good. Okay, yes, you guys are. Awesome. I am using the plus version. It is a paid version because of my business, and my job has that already. But if you guys just log in with a Gmail account, you guys are going to be able to access this for free. There might be some limitations on how many notebooks you guys can create, but everything that you guys are going to be seeing from this version is what you guys are going to be seeing from yours too. So let's just go ahead and just create a notebook. So we're going to go into create new. And the first thing that is going to prompt us to do is to add some sources, right? So sources are any type of knowledge that you guys want to add to this notebook, right? So I have selected some sources, and I'm going to go to my desktop. I have a folder for my computational methods class. That's a class that I am actually taking currently in the semester, and I have built a notebook for that class already. But first, I'm going to create it here so you guys can see it. So as soon as you guys start adding those sources, you guys are going to see them starting to pop up in the left-hand side on your sources. And it already starts giving you a summary in the center where the chat is, right? And then we're going to go a little bit into that. But cool thing to know here about the sources is I can also select which sources it's going to be operational, one in the chat and in my other features of Notebook LM. So if I select all of them, then it's going to take into consideration all of them. And that's pretty much what is going to take into the context, right? And it's going to know what information is there. So as you guys can see here, I added an assignment that I actually turned in. It was an assignment where I was trying to look at the odds of UFC fights and using machine learning to be able to predict outcomes of UFC fights. The second thing, I added the syllabus of the class, CAI 3821C. That's our computational methods for AI. And then I added our book. That's why that last source actually took a little bit longer to populate, because it was our book. What other sources can you guys add? So it's not only documents, you guys can also add links to either websites or to YouTube videos. So I'm gonna actually copy a link from a YouTube video that I have, and I'm gonna add it here too. It's a video on YouTube that talks about calculus and how calculus relates to artificial intelligence. So now we have all of the sources here. So what can we do now, right? Everybody's familiar with LLMs and chats. So now you can go ahead and chat directly with the documents that you guys have uploaded. So we can say in the syllabus, can you point out the assignments that need to be completed? So now the LLM is obviously going to go into our chat, into our documents, our syllabus, and it's going to start providing us not the projects and what they have to be, you have to do on the projects, but also the dates, right? Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. Project number 3 is due Sunday, April 6th, 2026. So that's actually coming due really, really soon. I need to get started on that project actually. So that's one way that you guys are already seeing that you guys can talk directly with the documents that are there. One of the most powerful tools that is here, and one that I use a lot because I love to actually listen to podcasts, is the audio overview. This is going to take this all of the sources that you guys provided and create basically an audio podcast of the sources or the topic that you guys have added in there. So I'm going to start creating that actually already. And then we'll come back to that because it does take a little bit of time for that to get going, but I'm going to create that already and we'll come back to that. Let's continue to look here at the chat. One of the things that I want to show you guys and is how you guys are using the LLMs. And when I mentioned, hey, don't just prompt it to give you the answers, but actually prompt it to be a tutor, prompt it to be kind of like your partner in this class. And that's what I always say, like, you're my partner in this class. Let's work on this class together and let's work on our assignments together, more than just provide me the answers. Is when you guys click on this configuration here of the notebook, you guys are going to see here the definition, define your conversational style. You guys can see here that there's a couple already, just default, analyst, guide. But if you guys go to custom, you guys can say here, you are my tutor for computational methods. And let's say, help me by guiding me through any question I may ask. And don't just give me the answer. Work with me to find the answer. Awesome. So we can just add that and save it. So now the LLM is actually going to assist you a little bit more as a tutor and not just as providing you the answer in there. And it does change a little bit the conversation that you guys have in there. Another very powerful and awesome feature that this Notebook LM has is the mind map. Maybe let me see a raise of hands. Does anybody use mind maps for education, to study, or anything? If you guys can maybe raise your hands in there a little bit. Yeah, I see some hands being raised. Awesome. Such a powerful tool to, number one, computational methods. And I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about that class. It brings a lot of different subjects that you need to learn. Number one, calculus, right? Statistics, linear algebra. So you're talking about a lot of different subjects in math. And when you're learning different subjects like that, breaking it down to a mind map is so powerful. So let's just click on that and see what it gives us. So as soon as you click on the mind map, you guys are seeing here that on the right-hand side, under your notes, there's your mind map starts being created. So let's click on that. Now it has actually created a mind map of the documents that I inserted. And if we go into machine learning, it even gives us them broken down. So instead of you having to figure out, oh, okay, in my book for statistics or machine learning, what is it that I have to learn? It already breaks that down for you in here. And you need to know, like, okay, awesome. I need to know data analysis, hypothesis testing, regression, logistic regression. And once you guys start going into those subjects, then it breaks them down into even more subjects. And you guys can create kind of like a guide of how you guys should learn these things, right? So a very powerful tool to be able to do that, especially for learning. We're still working a little bit on our audio. Yeah, that's still doing that in there. Another awesome thing is this note that is here. It's called study guide. If you guys click on that, it's going to create a study guide for everything that of the sources that you guys have provided in there. So, and you guys are going to see it creates questions. It also gives you the answers, and then it gives you like certain topics at the end to be able to focus on. So let's open that a little bit now. So it created a quiz. So it basically asked some questions in the beginning, not giving you the answers, kind of like already how we had asked in that prompt in the beginning. And then towards the end, it does give you the quiz answer key, right? So a good way to be able to practice and some essay format questions as well. Glossary of key terms, also very important too. Understanding key terms of for any class is very important, and this does a breakdown of what are the major key terms that you guys need to use there. So if you guys are starting for a test or studying for a quiz or anything like that, you guys can upload the source of those questions in there, and it will help you create that study guide, right? And it will be in kind of like a good sequential order, so you guys don't just go out and attack every single subject, but it breaks it down for you subject by subject. Really cool thing to be able to use. So I can keep this actually audio open, but for my business owners out there, I also want to be able to add a little bit of how you guys can use this tool to enhance your business, and be able to also use this for your business. So I'm going to create another notebook. And in this one, I'm actually going to upload some files that I have. And one of those files is a transcript of a conversation that I had of a marketing meeting with my team. I think that a lot of people do that. A lot of people are having meetings with their team, and sometimes the hardest thing is to create action steps. after we have a lot of meetings. Everybody has meetings. I see people's Google Calendar, and it's meeting after meeting after meeting. But sometimes we don't get any action items after those meetings, or we don't state what we need to do. So I just uploaded the transcript from that meeting. And even if I create a mind map of this, and I just want to show you guys really quick what it would do for me. Creating a mind map of that meeting glossary can also break down certain things. So in my business, we have actually our 10-year anniversary in April. So that's one of the subjects that is there. We're also trying to promote our co-working space. So that's it already broke it down to me in subjects there. So that's already super powerful. But if I come back to our chat, and then I ask for it to, number one, either give me an FAQ or a timeline, that would be also great too. So let's actually look at the timeline feature. I'm coming here, and it's actually going to create a timeline based on the document, based on the conversation that I'm having there. So let's open this. Beautiful. It starts adding every single subject that we talked about and potential dates for when this needs to be accomplished. But if I come to the chat and I just ask, hey, from the transcript of the meeting that I uploaded, can you provide some next action steps? Let's see our response here. Beautiful. So here, hey, based on the transcript from the marketing meeting on March 18, here are some next action steps to be discussed. For Andrian, that's one of my employees. She needs to do this. And then for me, it gave me a list of things that I have to do, right? So I can definitely just get that, put that into a notebook and start working one by one on those things too. So super powerful to be able to use it for business as well. Let me actually add another source. We recently developed a new podcasting sales guide, just basically how we offer our services and what we provide in those services. In here, I'm going to demonstrate when I unclick this ones, there's no sources. There's nothing that I can do now because there's no sources to be able to back it up. But I'm just going to select that podcast sales guide. When I'm training maybe sales individuals to be able to sell this products, I think I always give them an FAQ. FAQs are really good to be able to provide salespeople, marketing, so that they know what answers to give to clients when they ask certain things, right? About pricing, about services, about features that we're providing to them. So let's look at that FAQ section. We're creating that FAQ. It actually already provided that for us. And it takes in all of those very important points. What are the basic studio rental options at HCAP Studios and what is included? It gives you an answer of that. What are the benefits? What benefits does adding a podcast engineer service offer during the recording session? And it breaks down what is happening here. One of the things that we were pushing a lot too, and I love that it actually got it in here too, is the estimation of when you add a podcast engineer, we're providing you a 60 to 75% product done by the time that you leave our podcast studio. So I really love that I was able to add that, and it took that into the context too. So it's amazing to, number one, be able to have this tool free for all of you guys for school and for business. And number two, I know that you guys have been seeing the news and have been seeing the great progress that Google has been doing with their Gemini models. This has it. This has Gemini 2.0 already working there. I am sure they're going to be working on integrating Gemini 2.5, even though it's an experimental version now, they will implement that to this tool. And after that, it's going to be even more powerful. So love that that I'm able to show this to you guys. Let me actually go back to that. Beautiful. So, and please let me know if you guys are able to hear the audio coming from here. So it just actually created the audio podcast from all of our sources that we have here. So I'm just going to play it for you guys to be able to listen to it a little bit.
Can't hear anything. Chris, can you hear me?
Can you guys hear it? I'm sorry.
No, can't hear anything.
Oh, you guys can't hear anything? Oh, so sorry. Let me see.
The setting should be on to share sound, but let me know.
What speakers? Yes. Yeah, everything should be. No. Oh no. Let me see. It's in in the share my screen, right? We can share. Oh, yeah, I see everything okay here with the audio. I'm not
Mhm.
sure why it's not playing that for you guys out there.
Not sure.
Because I do hear it here, but I'm guessing that I'm not playing
Maybe,
it is through the share screen.
maybe stop your share screen and reshare, and in the process, maybe you need to select. Sometimes, like in the process of doing the screen share, it shows you the little box to.
Oh yeah, computer audio here. I have it. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing and I will reshare again. Give me one
Okay.
second. Share sounds. Here we go. Okay, awesome. Here we go. Okay, awesome. Let me see. Let me know if you guys can hear it again. Okay.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that pops up everywhere in data science, the world of predictive analytics, specifically statistical modeling versus machine learning.
Right.
Think of this as your express route to grasping how these powerful tools.
Are you guys hearing it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Are similar, way they diverge, and, crucially, what each brings to the table.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a fantastic book covering both these areas as our guide today.
Yep, it's a good one.
Our mission,
Yep.
well, it's to pull out the essential ideas, the key terms, and those kind of aha moments,
Yes.
stuff that'll give you a solid understanding of their relationship and their inner workings.
Exactly. We're not just, listing definitions. We really want to connect the dots so you can see the bigger picture.
Mhm.
We'll be focusing on the core concepts and the practical comparisons that make these fields so vital for anyone dealing with data.
All right, let's dive right in then. There's a foundation.
Beautiful. So you guys can see the um how great that also sounds, and it's something that you guys can put in your car, be able to listen to it when you guys are at home, and yeah, and be able to use that tool. A very cool thing that happened now is that interactive mode. You're actually able to go into the conversation and add your own pieces of conversation, and then the audio will start to change based on that too. So if you guys start to see that you guys wanted to add a little bit of another topic or something different at certain moments, you guys can just go in there, talk to it, and then you will be added as that third person talking into the conversation, and it will restructure that conversation based on that. So super powerful and awesome tool to be able to use as well. And even if you guys are using content creation, imagine adding scripts, adding things about your business, and creating a podcast to be able to use to market that as well. So many use cases to be able to do this. And like I had mentioned before, one of the things to do is to actually get in here and start using the tools. Don't be afraid. Number one, is free. Number two, there's nothing that can go wrong really with this. So definitely think that you guys should just get in there, be able to use these tools, and be super successful. I think that maybe this is the time, and I'm just going to be open now for some questions, or if you guys want to dive deeper into any of these things, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and we can go into maybe like a question round. If you guys need to know anything else or want to know anything else, I am here for some questions.
Absolutely. So before everyone starts asking you questions, we did have a few in the chat. So
Okay, beautiful.
what tool works for transcript meetings? So like what would you say, I guess, is the best? Is it like Zoom transcription or?
Right. So it depends on when what what platform you're using, because Zoom already offers some of that transcription directly. Also, Google Hangouts does that automatically too. For example, I have Google Hangouts, and every meeting that I have, I already have it in my settings to be able to provide me that structure and that transcript right after. So it depends on what platform you're using. If you're not using, if you don't have access to any of those platforms, there's also a desktop app that you can install that's called Whisperer, and I can definitely put the link on that in there. That also records the meetings for you too, both audio, and then you can turn them into transcription. But yeah, but if you guys do have the chance, I would leverage whatever, either Zoom, Google Hangouts. They already have those tools built in, so it's a good way to just be able to, if you're already paying for it or not paying for it, you guys can just already leverage those tools there.
Great. And then for Notebook LM, is it worth getting a plus? And does the plus come with Google Plus?
So I don't think that is worth it yet. I think that the free version still offers all of the tools that are there. It just limits you in the number of notebooks, but you could always delete notebooks and bring them back. Remember that you're bringing those sources of the information into Notebook LM. So anytime you can recreate that notebook by bringing back those sources. So I would say not yet. Take advantage, number one, that it's free. Use it. Try to see if you find a use case. I always love free stuff, right? I always try to find a way to have either be free or find a way that I am making some money to be able to justify the tool, right? So first, use I would say use the free version. See if you find a really good use case for it, and if you need that extra plus, and you want more notebooks and want to have everything in there, then go with that. But I would suggest first to use the free version, and first try to see if there is a use case that you find very, very important for it there.
Awesome, thank you. And one last thing, so before we go into the open question and answer, we were hoping that in today's session, we can have one volunteer who has some type of use case, either for education or work, that you would like to learn sort of how to utilize a tool to achieve that task. So feel free to raise your hand, and Chris is here to just demo it for you in person. All right, I saw Adam already. Adam's like, I'm jumping on that. So Adam, definitely go for it. And Chris, let's see your critical thinking on the spot.
Let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
I love that.
Opportunity. All right, Chris. So let's say, for example, from a business side or entrepreneur side, I want to generate a business plan, or wanting to be able to walk through that. How would I be able to leverage this tool, the Notebook LM, to help me mind map, help me make sure that I catch everything that I need to catch in the same way that I would be able to if I hired someone?
So number one, I would definitely leverage that custom instruction that I showed in the chat. So when you go into that custom instruction, you can leverage it by saying, hey, you are an expert in creating business plans. You also can give a little bit of information about your business at that moment, and let it know that you're a partner, you're partnering to be able to create this business plan together. Definitely a good way. And also the sources that you guys are adding are very important too, right? That is basically the information that the LLM is taking into account to be able to create that business plan for you. So as much as information as you can provide it there through those sources, to be able to create that for you, it's amazing. And just know that at any moment you can also be able to export that information, right? Because in the notes, you're able to export that information. You're able to export that mind map, take into account, think about it, and then come back to it with new information. I'm like, hey, no, I actually want to change this part of the mind map, and be very specific on those things. So using it first to ideate, right? Come up with the idea, see if the mind map makes sense to you, see if that first draft of the business plan makes sense to you. Come actually draft it, rework it again, and then bring it back to Notebook LM as a source, and then reprompt it to with the changes that you made, create that business plan again for you. One thing that is really, really important too with business plans is timelines. And if you're talking about, hey, this is my 5-year business plan. This is my 10-year business plan. Very important to add that information in there, just so that it knows what timelines you're working with, and also the type of team and resources that you have. Very important as well too, because and that's just about having the most information, right? Resources and team, and being able to see what is that you have available to you is going to help it build a better business plan, because it understands your business better. Remember, the most important thing is that you're adding all of this knowledge. This is the knowledge base of your business, right? That one notebook is the knowledge base of your business. So the more information that you add to it, the better in description, the better in creating a business plan for you is going to be. So out of the top of my head, I would say like those would be the first things that I would tackle. And then seeing the results, right? Remember, LLMs are still learning. They don't know exactly what's in your head and what you want to put in paper. So the more that you can provide to it, the better answer you're going to get for sure.
Okay, and then the custom. So I guess that was the part that I wanted to review, was from the technical side, when you went to the note add or the customization. I think, Suda, you said this recording will be available later
Yes.
to kind of go back over that. Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause I
definitely.
wanna-
It's a work in progress, so you guys may not necessarily get the recordings right away, because
Okay.
we're trying to put them up on YouTube unlisted, and then create a LibGuide with our learning resources at MDC. So you might kind of be getting like a link in the near future with all of our previous recordings kind of all in one. So yes, be patient with us, please.
Okay,
I
well,
can
that being
definitely
said, yeah, I was gonna say,
I-
that being said, could you pull it back up real quick?
Yep,
Chris?
I definitely can. Yeah, I'm going to do that now. Let me know when you guys are seeing the screen.
We can see it.
Awesome. So it's on the top of the chat. It's right here, configure notebook, and it's going to be usually a default, right? You want it to be here in custom, and here's where you're going to write that prompt. And that's something that you can have. Either you can leverage the chat itself to help you create a prompt that would be best suited for a business plan creator or a business plan assistant, and you can add that in there. But I will also suggest there to give a little bit of a snippet of what your business is about, who you are, just to add a little bit of extra context in there. And in the response, in the choose your response length, obviously you're trying to build a business plan, so you would want to select the longer length so that it gives you a full business plan, especially if you're talking about, hey, give me a 1-year, 5-year, and 10-year plan for my business. So I would definitely choose the response length to the longer there, so that you are able to have the longest context that this can give you.
Yeah, so I was looking for that menu that you clicked there, the filter or the settings.
Yep.
On that chat window. It doesn't show on my end. So is that like a oh, because you got the plus. Okay.
Let me actually get out of the plus, and
Because I'm on the free one right now, and I don't see that option. You know how it breaks down the sources, the chat, and then the studio. Under the chat, it doesn't have that as an option currently. On the free.
so it might, that one actually might be a plus feature, but remember that you can always also prompt that into
That's
into the chat, right?
That was gonna be my next.
You can,
yeah. Okay.
yeah, that's one thing. And yes, you are correct. I just logged into the free version of it, and that meter is not there. So maybe that is one of those features that is really important to you. And at that point, then yeah, maybe getting the plus version would be good. But I would say first, try to do it from the prompt as well too. Give it a really good introductory prompt where you are telling it that it is going to be a business planning assistant for you, and in the description of your business. And I will start there first.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
All right, I noticed, Jonathan, you had your hand up earlier. Did you have a question?
No, I wanted to add to the thing, to the business plan thing. Like if you needed more data sources, getting PDFs from the Small Business Development Bureau could be a good source to back up your MLM. So it could tell you, oh, let's make sure we hit all these points.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jonathan. Even given an example of a business plan for a business similar to yours as well too. right? A very structured one that you really like, one that you really like the stuff that was inside of that business plan. Also giving it that as an example could be a really good thing. Thank you, Jonathan. That's great insight there.
Thank you for adding that. Could you probably drop that in the chat to just like as a resource that we could take away? That would be great.
Sure, I'll find the Miami one.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. So we're really good on timing. I do highly recommend that if you guys have questions, maybe you can put your hands up and we can just go in order of the questions that you have. And then also Chris is going to be here for the breakout rooms that we have at the end, where we go over holistic support for our students. So you'll have an opportunity to go in there if you want to and just kind of chat with him. Maybe like not necessarily one-on-one if there's more than one of you, but in a little bit of a smaller group as well. So I see Barbara, she had something in the chat. If I'm merging 3 yearly reports with data and graphs, what's the best AI app to use? So we can address that one first, and then whoever has their hands up in order, like we can just go at it.
I'm gonna read the question really quick. If I'm merging 3 yearly reports with data and graphs, what's the best AI app to use? I tried ChatGPT. I don't know, Barbara, if you've already used Claude as well too. Claude is really good right now. I use it a lot. Number one for coding, but for reasoning and for understanding, it is really good. But I would try first to use Claude, and what Victor mentioned there, a Python script I will use for that one. That's a really good one too. I don't know if how much you know about Python and being able to code that, but I would also be able to use. I would suggest that you use Claude and give that a chance and see how it will respond for you there.
All right, perfect. Yeah, definitely check out Claude. I've seen a little bit of what it's capable of as well, and I think it's really good. And it also does not, I guess, hallucinate as much. I think that's something we were talking about yesterday. All right, cool. So Nick.
Yeah, and another thing to add to Barbara is to when you're using ChatGPT, I don't know if in if your settings you have it turned on that it's able to number one run scripts because that will help you to also be able to analyze those graphs. But let me see if you drop your email, Barbara, into the chat, I'll be able to send you a YouTube video to be able to help you with that too. So if you send me there your email, I'll be able to send you that too.
Cool. Nick, what's your question?
Thanks. As a business owner, I'm sure there's like maybe, well, are there any protocols that you have when it comes to trying to make sure no sensitive information is shared with Notebook LM or any other, AI resources?
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to marketing, I have and I use different notebooks. Let's say, for example, to have different departments, and I have people be able to work on them there. But when it comes to financials, it's something that we do use local models to be able to analyze some of those things for ourselves. So when it comes to sensitive financial information, it just know that obviously all of those things are being monitored by these companies, right? And there are safeguards, right? They are big companies that put their information in there. But if you want to be very close to your information and make sure that you are handling your information correctly, your data correctly, one of the things would be to obviously handle those locally. And that's something that I do use a local model that I have for those financial metrics. Not something that needs to be super powerful for me. My financial estimates are monthly sales, what is happening in the year, our quarterly goals, are those being met? Why are they not being met? So it's something that could definitely be you can run local as well too. But for other things, I mean, if it's your marketing and stuff like that, you're already putting yourself out there, right? That already lives in the internet for everybody to see your captions. If maybe you see that your captions is something that you really want to keep private, you're already kind of putting that online. So all of that is being trained in that data, right? So that's already happening. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But when it comes to sensitive information, legal, financial, a lot of people are moving to having those models locally, especially because those models, number one, now are being so powerful, and you don't need to have such crazy processing power to be able to run them locally anymore. So I would leverage local models. I don't know if you've ever used Olama or any of those tools to be able to do that. But yeah, if it's sensitive information, run it locally. That would be a way to for you to be safe with your data.
Thank you.
All right, so we did have just a question in the chat real quick before you go, Jonathan, unless you had a comment and not a question.
A comment.
Okay, go ahead.
So for the best AI thing, you could actually use this new one called Cursor, which just lets you implement any other AI that you have access to. So if you want to go back and forth in these different ones, it's a great the coding tool now. And Dr. Lee's has been showing us how to use it in as well.
Awesome, thank you. All
I
right.
use Cursor 100% of the time when it comes to coding, for sure, and especially leveraging the Gemini 2.5 model that is out there now. It's the best coding assistant for sure right now.
Did you download it, or are you using it off of just off the browser?
Download.
Yeah,
Okay. And then
Yeah.
Chris, I wanted to ask, did you add your LinkedIn? Is your LinkedIn in the
Oh,
chat?
sorry. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna put it on now.
Thank you.
All right, so while you're doing that, we did have another question in the chat. It's what's the best data analytics to use, or I guess AI, for data analytics. I use Claude, it helps. I don't know, what do you think is the best tool?
Yeah, definitely Claude is really, really good when it comes to data analytics. Obviously it also depends. The reasoning models, any reasoning model is going to be really good for data analytics too. Remember that it's actually taking steps to reason before delivering the answer to you. So I would say number one, Claude is really good, but any reasoning model that you can actually add that data to and have it reason first before giving you the answer will give you one of the best answers too. That O1 model, that O3 mini from OpenAI. Obviously, Claude has also a reasoning model. Gemini also has their own reasoning model as well too. The 2.0 reasoning, that's also good. So if you are trying to see which one is best and see for your use case, I definitely would say try Gemini's, try Claude's, try OpenAI's solutions, but always give it to the reasoning models. It is going to give you a little bit better information and reason over your data too.
Awesome. And Nick was curious about what hardware and local models you use when you're running local models, like what do you use?
Yeah, well, it definitely does depend on the hardware that you have. I don't know if anybody here has one of those Mac Studios M4 or M3 Ultras that have 96 gigabytes of RAM. I doubt most of us do. I don't have one. I wish I did. But if you're running anything, obviously basic, I think right now is 32 gigabytes of RAM memory in any computer. And most of them are getting close to that. But if you have 32 gigs, I have been running 8 billion parameter models, 7 billion parameter models. That number one, you can fine tune to your purpose as well. So you're not only getting that 8 billion model that you can run on your computer locally, but you can actually fine tune it to your actual use case. Which is even more powerful than just having a regular 8 billion model running on your laptop or your computer. So definitely I would look into any of those models or whatever model you can get, and a lot of those provide, and most of those local solutions provide kind of like a range of what you need to have to be able to run that locally. But then fine tuning, definitely look into fine tuning your local models because that is a game changer for sure.
All right,
But I would
perfect.
say even for hardware, if you're trying to buy a computer, something like that, I think that you should look really about 32 gigabytes of RAM or more in your system to be able to do that. So to be able to comfortably run some of these models locally.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. Awesome. All right, so it's one, and I'm gonna be very timely. So I just want to say thank you so much, Chris, for a wonderful live demo. I think we had a great conversation, and I want to thank the group. I think you guys have probably been one of the best groups we've had. I think it's been a really interactive, awesome session. So I do appreciate you. Please do join us next time. I'm just going to share it real quick, and so you can, scan the QR code just real quick, or take a picture of it. We're going to be going over prompt engineering and learning. We have Professor George Gabb and Professor Rodolfo Cruz presenting. They're going to be doing an interactive live demo between them. Chris is also going to show up with us in that session as well, and maybe hopefully the rest of you, and we can all just kind of meet up in there and go over prompt engineering. I think it's really, really important. A lot of what we went over today will become even more effective if you know how to actually prompt it right? And even using prompting AI to write the prompt for you. I mean, I'm sure you guys are familiar with this, and if you haven't heard about it before, try it out. But this session is supposed to go even more in depth. It's almost like a part 2 to this one. So what you utilize today and the exposure that you got today, next time we want to go a little bit even deeper into it and how to actually apply it. So yeah, take a picture, scan it, register. Join us for that session. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing now. We'll also just drop it in the chat. And of course, you'll be getting a million emails and text messages from me over the next 2 weeks anyway. So hopefully we'll see you there. If you do have any questions still pending and you weren't able to ask them during the session, Chris is going to have his own breakout room now, so you can hop in there. We're also going to have our AI breakout room, or AI programs, I should specify, because Chris's room is AI too. So we're going to have our AI programs breakout room, our student support services breakout room with Vanessa Rodriguez. Our AI breakout room is with Amy Rubinson. We're going to have our women in tech room. And I think that's pretty much the people or the support staff that we have here. We also have our data analytics room. And I'm just giving you guys sort of like an overview of what the rooms are going to be when they pop up. If you have questions about the specific programs, you can go into the program rooms. If you want to chat with Chris, that's fine. The session ends at 1:30. If you run a little bit over and you feel like you need more time, I always try to make sure that we get you whatever it is that you need to the best of my ability. So I don't mind staying over time, but don't push it beyond 2, okay? Because that's just too much. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and open up the breakout rooms now. Thank you guys. It's been a lovely session. And if you have general questions or you need something from me, just stay in the main room and feel free to interact with me. All right, thank you.